There are some key things we look for, when testing out a vehicle. For one, access to airflow. Interior noise, space, but there's something else. What is it, Andy? Oh, treat delivery path. Will the 2020 Infiniti QX50 pass the lab test? Well, let's find out. So let's say you're getting ready for work, you jump in the car. What is one of the first things that you normally do? Well, for me, I put my coffee mug down and plug in my phone. In here, slide open this bread box. The cup holder doesn't look very big, but surprisingly, it can hold a big ol' Yeti. That's right, 30 ounces. This is very much like the size of a takeout Dunkin' Donuts, Chick-fil-A. And in the summer months, you know you're getting those iced coffees, so it's good to know that that is gonna fit. But what happens if you're gonna carpool? Two did fit. They're not perfect, but they're not wobbling. They actually went in deep enough so they're not gonna knock over. Now your phone, I wish this was a little bit bigger, not really a designated spot. You could use the extra cup holder, but again, if you have a wide phone, I don't know if it's gonna fit so well. The way you put the cord in here, it is gonna wear down for sure. I guess you could pull it into here, but then you're gonna have this, and yeah, that doesn't look very good. And while there's an extra USB port in here, it doesn't project up there, so you're gonna wanna plug in from here. But look at that, USB-C and USB. That's kind of nice. You don't always see that. And the other thing I like to look for is an armrest. Is it movable? Is there a structure here? Can I rest my elbow if I want to lean over? It's not movable here, a stationary piece, but it's comfortable and it works. And trust me, it is so soft. I mean, it feels incredible. Now the headliner, also an ultra suede. Can you imagine if this was blue? Ooh, that would look so tight. But the only way you actually get this blue is with this white leather premium package. The seats are wide, they're heated, ventilated, comfortable, and yes, it's beautiful and quilted, but it's also very light. And while it matches Andie, and I do like that, I'm afraid it's gonna get real dirty. I'm already seeing a little wear and tear on the door and the butt of the driver's seat, but with this white and blue comes a lot of brown, and nothing against brown, I just personally don't like brown plastic. So brown plastic here, brown plastic there. Kind of reminds me of a McDonald's high chair. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I don't even eat at McDonald's, but for whatever reason, anytime I see brown plastic, that's what I think about. The maple wood trim. It's beautiful, but it doesn't match consistently around the car. The color up here across the dashboard, it's definitely darker than the trim on the door, which when you look at it in isolation, your eye might not catch it, but when you look at it right here, it's definitely two different color tones. However, I do like the matte black plastic around here, but then you look up here to these touch screens and you got shiny piano black plastic. What? Why? Why couldn't you just make it all matte? It would have been so much cooler. There is definitely a difference. Dust, less dust. Matte is definitely better when you have a fur kid. Okay, so are you ready for it? The screens look exactly like the screens we reviewed last year in the 2019, except Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That's right. See? There you go. How good is that? Setup is a breeze. You just plug it in and it basically starts right up, and the screen is up top for Apple CarPlay, not down here. Although you tap here to get it to project up there. Now, yes, you have a dual touch screen, and I know for some people are gonna hate on that still. However, there are some pluses. I like that you can drive around and have Waze up, and then down below you can still access your music, climate settings without having to get out of the maps, so that's kind of nice. Now this touch screen looks a little nicer, but this one up here, way more responsive. Now from a design standpoint, I feel like they look like they're from two different families. By no means am I saying the system is not good, because it's actually very user-friendly, but from a design standpoint, it could look a little bit more cohesive maybe.
Cohesion, cohesion, cohesion.
I watch a lot of Project Runway, and this just ain't looking cohesive to me, okay?
I'm scared that everyone is going to be like, what is this?
So how you doing back there, Andie? I'm sorry, what did you say? She needs airflow. Now, normally you look for something called rear climate control. In here, you don't have it. Instead, you have sync. The best and fastest way to pump air to your fur kit in the rear, press sync and jack up the fan speed. If you unsync it, then you can adjust your temperatures up here, and your fur kit still maintains that cool air in the back. Vents are right here, tri-zone climate, but when you push this seat all the way down, the vents are not blocked, which makes it easier for your fur kid to get that airflow. Now, I don't personally feel the air vents really blasting in this space, so if you're gonna travel with your dog back here, I think you're gonna definitely have to leave one of these seats down. Now, a lot of brown back here, but it doesn't feel too dark because of that big pano moonroof. Andie, do you like the moonroof? Yes. Now, if there's too much light, you can block it with those rear privacy shades. And similar to up front, you have the quilted beauties back here, and these are legit reclining seats. Look at that range, plus they move forward and back. Very comfortable. Legroom is good too. And the hump in the middle isn't too high, and there is plenty of space for your feet. Now, I personally would prefer a 40-20-40 split, but we'll leave that for another day. So this is our second QX50 on this channel. Actually, last year when we reviewed the 2019, same exterior color, Hermosa blue. And while a lot seems similar, you could check out that video for some additional specs. This rear looks a little bit different. I don't remember having this add-on. Cargo protector, 145 bucks. It's reversible, carpet on one side, plastic, rubbery thing on the other. Great if you have a fur kid that's wet, muddy, eating a snack. Now, if your dog is more of a seat rider, Infiniti does sell these seat protectors. It kind of looks more like an apron rather than a full slip cover, and I would certainly get them, especially if I got this interior. No, Andie, this is for me. Sorry. The rear is not too high, so it's super easy to load Andie in and out. She can even get in by herself with a run and start. Nice size space too back here. Plus actual storage under the floor, along with a smattering of places throughout. Doors, seat backs, consoles. You know what else I really like? Say you want to air your car out. Maybe you took your dog swimming and it kind of stinks like a wet dog in here. You can easily pop all the windows down with your key fob. Now, Andie, I know you're not a smelly dog, but, you know, if you get wet, sometimes it's nice just to have the option. I always like to see how quickly I can pull out without the cars behind me catching up, because that is really important to me. I don't want a wimpy ride. It doesn't sound the most attractive, but I've had better, I've had worse experiences. It's certainly not like the engine in the Red Sport 400, but it works and it definitely gets the job done. Now you have three main driving modes: Eco, Standard, Sport. I can certainly feel a difference. Eco is just too wimpy for me. Standard feels good. Sport definitely gives me a little bit more of that tighter feel. And driving around, there's actually a little bit more road noise than I recall in the 2019 model we tested. Now this one is all-wheel drive, which is definitely a plus, but I have to say the front-wheel drive version that we did, that felt really great too. And Andie is doing just fine back there. I think this is a nice size 5-passenger SUV. It gives you a little bit more space without feeling so big. I feel like I have good visibility of kind of where my angles are. and the backup cameras. Now, although it's not the most high resolution in my opinion, I do like the lines that show up, especially in the 360 view. It's like bungee cords, so you know exactly where each corner of your vehicle is. Very helpful when backing up especially. So last year when we tested the 2019 model, I was so impressed with the Pro Pilot Assist, the intelligent cruise control, and the steering. It worked so well, and in here you got the same exact system. Super easy to get set up too. This is not autonomous driving. You still have to keep your hand on the steering wheel, but I am not using the pedals right now. And if you take your hands off, it's gonna start flashing red at you. And overall, the safety tech in here, it just works, and it's easy to access right here on your screen. You can enable things, disable, whatever you want to do. And at night, this is not going to become a nightclub. There's really not ambient lighting in here, but you will enjoy the welcome lights. Overall, very comfortable in here. I think it's one of those cars that you can pretty much jump in and drive. You don't have to sit here and learn a ton. You can pretty much learn on the go. Now, just because this particular one is the Autograph trim and comes with a hefty price tag, don't let that discourage you from checking out some of the lower trims. Like the one we tested last year, it was still great, even though it didn't have this beautiful blue suede. Ugh, I wish there was more of it. So with that said, our top 5 fantastic features are: 1, the levers in the rear to plop down these seats. 2, the reversible cargo mat. 3, the blue suede doesn't collect dog hair like some of the other materials in here. 4, a comfortable riding experience for a pup. And 5, all the natural light in here. Big thanks to Infiniti for letting us lab test this QX50. Oh, Andy, is this lab approved? Yep. Don't forget, subscribe to our channel, click the bell so you know when our next video goes live, and follow Andy on Instagram to see photos of this QX50 all week. And we'll see you next time. Bye!